Welcome back for another edition of Ask Father Silva. And today's question doesn't come to me directly from one person, but rather comes very often from the parish, right? People asking for their baptismal records. Very often when people are getting married or other events, right, confirmation, things like that, right, they're required to have their baptismal records given to the parish that's performing the ceremony, right, conferring the sacraments themselves. And so people will ask for their baptismal records. Now, sometimes people will say, oh, I already have that. Right, what they're referring to is their baptismal certificate, right, the certificate that says that they have received baptism, something that their mother probably kept for the last 25 to 30 years, buried in a box in the basement, right? But the reality is, when the church asks for baptismal records, essentially they're asking for a sacramental background check, right? When you receive your sacrament of baptism, right, your certificate of baptism, right, the important part is not just what is here, but rather what's on the back. The back is the most important part, because you'll see here First Communion, confirmation, marriage, diaconate, religious profession, right? This is a background check, because if the church, like St. Rose, is going to be performing your sacrament of marriage, right, your marriage mass, right, it's very important that we know that you're not married, right, or that you haven't professed your religious profession, right? These things are necessary. And so when you ask for your sacrament of baptism, your certificate, right, your background check of sacraments, whatever you want to call it, right, you have to call the place where you were baptized. Now, this is of supreme importance too, to remember that where you were baptized is the place that should hold all of your sacramental records, right? I was baptized at St. William the Abbot on Long Island, but we moved when I was 4 years old, and the rest of my sacraments I received at St. Teresa's Church in Trumbull. Now, when I received First Communion, when I received my confirmation, St. Teresa's in Trumbull mailed those records over to St. William the Abbot on Long Island, and then they recorded them there, right? The other sacraments are also recorded at St. Teresa's, but the baptism, right, that place should have all the sacramental records. And when I was ordained a priest, the Diocese of Bridgeport sent those records back to St. William the Abbot, right? The place where you were baptized is the home base for all of your sacramental records. So if you're going to get married in the future and the church says, we need your sacramental records, all you should need to do is call your place of baptism, and they should have everything. They'll send us a certificate of baptism form, and you flip it over, and it has the notations on the back for when you received and where you received your other sacraments. But I would highly recommend, certainly not waiting to the last moment, but even calling, right, and saying, hey, my name is, so-and-so, and I want to make sure that all of my sacramental records have been recorded at that place of baptism. So when you're asking for a certificate of baptism for your marriage, right, just remember it's not something that you already have, but it's a background check that we need to make, and that the place where you were baptized is the place that holds all those records. Hopefully that clears things up, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. God bless.